Hi, I'm Daily Mirror columnist Jessica Bolton, and this is Daily Mirror's Jess Saying Live. I'm joined today by a very special guest, EastEnders legend Cheryl Fergison. Thank you for joining us.
Hello. Oh, this is all a bit lovely.
It's lovely to have you on. I really appreciate you coming on. Obviously, all us EastEnders fans know you as Heather Trott. Who can forget Heather? But you're now in a new Catherine Tate comedy, which is already in the top 10 on Netflix. Hard Sell. And I watched the very last one this morning. And
you can't give anything away. But
others say
it's one of those, isn't it? You don't expect it. There is a little bit of a twist.
There is a great twist. It was really good.
Yeah.
First of all, can you tell us can you tell us about this series, because you play a very interesting role, don't you? Really?
Yeah, it's really strange because it's set in a women's prison. Catherine plays about 5 or 6 different characters, which is amazing. She's just a genius, and we've got all these other lovely actresses and actors working with us as well. And Catherine approached me and basically said, "Would I like to be part of this?" And I said yes. And I was thinking I was going to be a woman in the prison, thinking, what character am I going to play? What have I done wrong to be in the prison? And she said, no, you're going to play sort of a version of yourself. And I kind of went, wow. I don't really know how that is, but how I'm going to do it. But because obviously as an actor, you can't sort of really step away from what you're doing, but it is a version of me, I would say. It's a version of me. And I go into the women's prison to direct West Side Story. Or is it? So it was so brilliant to do, such fun to do, hard work, and obviously with Catherine and changing prosthetics that she had to do, she'd be in one character one day, and then she'd be in a different character the next day, and it was we had to reshoot a lot of scenes over and over again just because of the nature of how it's done. But I think it's really clever when you watch it. It's great fun. And
you kind of forget that they're all Catherine for a little bit of it, because and when you said about shooting it, I kind of think, oh crikey, you've had to shoot that what about 6 times probably,
at least, and that's without the mistakes that we've done.
Each different character, so it's probably like 6 days of shooting each scene where multiple people in. We already had a couple of messages come up saying how much I miss you and loved you in EastEnders.
Oh bless.
I got another one here, looking so good, Cheryl. I really miss Heather on EastEnders. You're such a memorable character. Wow, everyone loved you as Heather.
Yeah, I mean, she was a great character to play, and I was very blessed to have done it for the 5 years that I was there, really. And it's a brilliant thing for an actor to be able to play all those different kind of character traits. I mean, as I always say, 1 minute you can have your Hamlet moment, and so you're in a storyline that's heavy, and then you're in your spear carrying moment, and you're just sort of in the Vic going, can I have a lemonade please? But it's it was just one of the best times ever. And as Dame Barbara, the lovely late Dame Barbara, said, we are all family, and that's exactly what we were. That's exactly what they are there. So great fun. Yeah,
and that close knit thing, and you must have got the script sometimes and gone, cool. I'm pleased I got a nice easy week this week.
Well, Yeah, it gets a bit like that. I think a lot of I think the other actors will say that some of them just go straight to the end to see if they've got the duff at the end, which is quite a funny thing to do. But it's when you're in a heavy storyline, and so I mean, I think you have to concentrate whatever you do, because it's such a fast turnover of scenes and storylines that you have to just be on it all the time, and you can't sort of drop your game at all on any of it. And that's with all soaps. Everybody, they always say when you go to these soap awards and things like, they were deserving, they were not deserving, or whatever. But actually, at the end of the day, everybody does the same job. We all do the same job. We're all producing these things 4 times a week to be in people's front rooms, and it's really hard work. And I think people forget that. They see it and take it for granted that it's really easy, and it's not. It's really not. You have to. It's a skilled thing, to do, and to be up on your game with that, to be quite honest. So I always applaud everybody who's in a drama or soap, because it's really hard work, and we all do it. I just think what happens is storylines go round and round. Everybody gets a turn at being different ones in different soaps, and and somebody wins a prize at the end.
Exactly. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day who wins.
No.
Because it's all about being there and having your own fans for the show, etc., and all of that. But one of the things that is really nice about Hard Sell is obviously you're playing a version of yourself. Yeah. But one of the sort of running jokes throughout it all is that they can't get over you as Heather.
Yeah.
And they keep calling you Heather all the way through. I'm not giving anything away. And you've got a big EastEnders fan in one of the guards as well.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I would go as far as to say he's a stalker, really.
I would probably go that far as well. I was being
no, it's very weird, because a little bit of it is like, I mean, more so in the days that I was in EastEnders and coming out of it, where people used to shout constantly in the street. I still get it as I'm walking down the street and people shout out. Sometimes they sort of walk past you and go, "Is that you, Ev?" or whatever. I mean, I live up north now, so it's with a northern accent. Yeah. They go, "Hey, love, are you that lady from sort of down south?" And they go, "Yeah, I am." But then a lot of men sort of shout out. It is men mainly shout out from sort of vans. Like, are you? Oh, I have ever trot. You get all that, and it's like, I'm just glad that I was called Heather and not anything stranger than Heather. Do you know what I mean? Imagine if I was called Fanny. That would be a bit of a Fanny trot. That would be quite. I've been shouting that out for the last however many years of your life. But there we go.
Do you ever get sort of fed up with it and be like, please, I just want to move on? Because your character kind of plays on that in Catherine's.
Yeah. It's a bittersweet thing, Jess. I mean, the thing is, it's I mean, I've been a working actor for over 35 years. It's just crazy. I've done some amazing stuff pre-EastEnders that I'm really, really proud of. I've been in the Royal Shakespeare Company. I've been, on lots of television programs pre-Enders. But when you're catapulted in people's front rooms 4 times a week, it's one of those things that you go, you're not going to shake that off so easily. It's not easy. And Heather was a great character to play, because she was sort of loved by the nation, and they took people could recognize bits of her in themselves sometimes, and they felt sorry for her. She was the underdog, and everybody backs an underdog, don't they? So it was great to play her, and just had a brilliant fun doing it. But there comes a time, we are now 10 years down the line that I've left EastEnders. So you kind of go, somebody somewhere must give you a bit of a chance to play something else, and just use your imagination a little bit, and just kind of go, oh, you know what, let's try her in that and give her a go at that, and see if she can like be a bit of a nasty person and a bit of an evil one. I mean, they are, at the end of the day, I'll be shouted out things in the street for a different reason if I play something like that. But at the end of the day, we are actors, and we should be able to play different things, and people should have, I think, casting directors and producers and companies and production companies should look and be more imaginative all round. I mean, everybody is diverse. We're all different people, and we should be shown that on screen. And I'm a great advocate for that, to be quite honest, because, life isn't all about long, tall, thin, modelly type people. White people on the we are a diverse nation, and we need to celebrate that and not dampen it down, really. So
and we talked about this before, but it's been slowly getting better on TV. You see more of it. Like, you know, it's nice to see like Alison Hammond get the main presenting job on This Morning. You know, on Friday only, but at least, you know, not, you know, in the corner sort of anymore.
And I watch EastEnders, and they've got the family, you know, with Claire Norris, who playing Bernadette, and people, and you know, and she's talked openly now, I think, in a documentary about being a larger woman, and it's quite, you know, it's nice to see. We shouldn't be just that one token person, and I'm sure people throughout the whole of, you know, the whole of Britain, whoever you are, whatever you are, you cannot be the token gay, the token black, the token Asian, the token big person, the token thin person. You know, you can't be that, because we are, you know, life is full of everyone, and we need to see representation all the way through it. You know, that's exactly how it should be. And, you know, the more people realize that and stop doing this thing where they're trying to make us believe that that's what the norm is. Well, it's not. The norm is we are all different. We are all different shapes, sizes, whatever, and we need to be represented in what we do, you know, and we can play all sorts of things. We're not, you know, being a large person, I've been typecast, I guess, comedy roles, being the jolly one, you know, the one maybe is always eating, and it's always, or the mother-in-law jokes, all those things that are kind of like, you know what, there's more to us than that, and we want, you know, we have relationships, we want to show that on screen. Why can we not be the leading lady? Why can we not be the romantic persons in it, you know? And we can, it's just imagination. And it's also training viewers to watch that as well, because we've trained viewers to think one way, and we can't. We need to just untrain your mind and go, wow, and just, you know, put your shoulders down and go, that's my representation. That's good. I like that, you know.
Yeah, you can be the like leading romantic lead in something. And I mean, people would, you know, you'd be cheering to see that on the screen. Whereas at the moment, you're just like, well, I can't go out and do that, because if you've got to have a nice romantic thing, you're like, you know, size 8 and whatever, look like Catherine Heigl or whatever, you know, romantic comedy lead. But yeah, I do agree, and it is that sort of getting people in those, getting casting directors and stuff to see those roles, and people to write those roles that aren't, oh, your storyline is about being larger. It's just about being a human.
We're not, I mean, I'm not defined, Cheryl Fergison is not defined by what I look like. I'm defined by a lot of things, you know, the stuff that's inside me, the stuff that's in my head, not just the outward look. And that's, you know, we are not defined by necessarily by our sexuality. We're not defined by we should be whole rounded people, and that's what the representation should be. It's not, you know, it's not just pointing the finger at that and pointing the finger at that, and you know, and as an actor, we observe characters, we observe people. I mean, I love to sit and watch people go by. You know, I love to sit and cafe culture watch and see different people and just think, gosh, that's interesting. I wonder what their life's like, and that would be a great person to sort of do a character about. You know, and I nick bits of people as they're going past and think, oh, I'll write that down. You know, they walk in a different way. They, you know, they talk in a different way. Yeah, it's great. I love it. You know, very blessed to be able to do that as a living, you know.
Yeah, I love that. And you were like, because you've moved up north to Lancashire now, haven't you? So you're out on the beach, and you can go out there. And I know you love going out on the beach. You've been out this morning.
Lovely. I mean, I've got Blackpool Tower up the road. I mean, I actually get a really like lovely warm feeling when I drive off the motorway and I see the tower in the distance. And there's something about it that brings me, I think, because I'm quite childlike in my mind and in the way I am. I don't know what act your age is. I don't understand that saying, because in my head, whatever excites me, whatever makes me childlike, I love being that. That's, you know, I love surrounding myself with younger people. In terms of, you know, my son, he educates me so much about things, and you know, it's just great that you can kind of have that. And so when I see the Blackpool Tower, I think of fun, I think of having a laugh, and I think of going on the Pepsi Max big ride. I think they call it something else, big one, that, you know, whatever it is, whatever ride it is, whatever cola ride it is. But you know, and you know, I love to sort of just be like childlike and run on the beach. And if my trousers get wet, they get wet. I don't mind. If I fall in, I fall in. It's absolutely, there's no limits really, and that's what I like. I think as people, we limit ourselves, don't we, Jess? We
do, and you're like, I'm always a big believer in just because someone says that's not how you should behave, then you've got to do it. I mean, I'm always quite happy to make the occasional joke or something. I was like, I was wearing Easter bunny earrings in conference yesterday, so I was just like, it's Easter, damn you, I'm going to do it. A nice message here from Claire Kerrigan, who says, "Do you ever catch up with your friends from EastEnders?"
Yeah, I do actually. It's really weird. I mean, they're always in their own bubble anyway. You have to sort of know that because we work so long in those kind of shows and the hours, that it's very difficult to get time with people outside. But it's really important, I think, to keep the communication with your friends outside. And that's the thing I never kind of lost. But I do love to find out what's going on there. You can see a lovely picture of Linda Henry there, and fantastic, great duo. Yeah. Steve McFadden, another person I talked to from Enders, and I love it because and Emma Barton, who plays Honey, she's always on. She's always supporting my social media stuff and my singing bits and pieces. So people are, even if they're still working there, they kind of pop up on your radar, and they're always supportive of what you do. And you should be back to them as well, because they don't get enough. I mean, they get praise from the fans, but they don't get enough sort of pats on the back for the great work that they do. It's good.
And I mean, because the hours like there, right? Like you touched about before, and it's the extreme. They're like 12-hour days, aren't they? Like when you're shooting.
Yeah, you can do. Yeah, you can be up, really early. Especially if you drive a long way, you're up quite early, and then you can be the last to leave. Sometimes, depending on how they've written the scenes. Obviously, there's bits of waiting around in the middle, or not, depending on what you're doing. But I mean, they're pretty good at organising it so that you get a decent sort of whack of time off. But it's look, I would say never moan about. I mean, I can't bear it. Whoever moans walking through those gates or driving through the gates of Elstree, seriously, I'm not being funny, they shouldn't have that job, because it's not something, you should be absolutely blessed every time you go in there and think, there's millions of people who could be queuing up behind me and literally banging me over the head to get me out of there. So I was never, I was always so happy when I would go into work, because it was like, I really every day more or less have pinch myself moments. It was because if I walked out onto the lot, which is the square itself and things, the lot. If you walked out there, it's like, it's steeped in the history of people there that have worked there, that have been there, that have been on my screen since I watched it when it very first came out. I saw the very first episode, and I go, how can you not be? This is very legendary. Whatever happens to this soap in years to come, and may they all reign for a long time, but whatever happens, I've been part of it, and I can't, describe that feeling. It's amazing, really.
And you're a part of the history. And what's great about your character is everyone immediately knows who you are. Like, there's some characters that just really stick with the audience.
Yeah.
Yours is one of them. And obviously the other one there in the picture, the June Brown, who you worked really closely with her for quite a lot of scenes and stuff.
Yeah.
And I know we talked about her. Has it been difficult since hearing the news?
Yeah, I mean, difficult and not difficult. I mean, difficult the fact that she's not there to have a chat on the phone to, or to go and see her if I was going down south. But the thing is that she'll always be around. She's just one of those. I think I said it before. She's just steeped in part of EastEnders. If you went in there, you could almost feel her there, her presence there. She's, there are real. I mean, legends are. That's a word that's branded around, but she was unique. That's the point. I think if you can, legend, I think is an overall thing of what we all think those people are, but when they're unique in their being and who they are and what they represent, not just on screen but off screen, that's what she was always. She said what she thought. She didn't mince her words, but she was right. and she'd obviously gone and thought about it before she would sort of say anything to you. But you know, and you can knock on a dressing room door and go in there and chat to her about anything. She was just really, really she was, you know, she was a cool older lady, you know what I mean? Never saw age with her, you know. It's really bizarre, you know. Again, I would imagine her skipping down the Blackpool front, you know.
I could imagine that too. I could imagine you both doing that. It's what was the best advice that she gave you?
Well, it's very, there's two. Dame Barbara gave me something that I've never ever forgot. And June the same. June was always like, just be prepared, you know, be ready to work, be ready on your script, be focused on your work, be there early. She, you know, she hated late people being late, and you know, be ready, be you know, be sure of what you're doing, and never sort of let anybody down, let alone yourself. So she was very much into that, and look after yourself. I mean, it didn't matter that I was a bigger woman. She was always saying, just look after yourself, health wise, with your body, with your mind, everything. Try to stay fit, try to, you know, do you know, try and touch your toes every day. She was always kind of trying to give you that kind of advice that would, other people would just go, oh yeah, she's just saying that, but actually it didn't do too bad for her, did it? Really?
No, it didn't. She did pretty well out of it, didn't she? Yeah,
and Barbara was one that something I never forget Barbara saying, which was, it doesn't matter what is going on inside your four walls at home or wherever it is, whatever's going on, when you go out there, that's your public, and you just you put on that, you basically be professional, because those are the people who watch you, who support you, who carry you for your career, and they don't want to know, they don't want to know your problems. They don't want you to air that your dirty linen. They don't want that. They want to know, are you all right? And you go, yeah, I'm all right, because all the other close people around you, that's when you can go, oh, I'm not actually all right at the moment. And that's where you should, you know, let them offload, not to the general public who want to come up and have a picture or an autograph or something. You know, that's, you know, we should all be able to do that and give that that's the least that we can do, is have a bit of time for someone, you know.
Which is what I think, that kind of attitude is what made Dame Barbara and you so popular. Is just that sort of like being approachable, because it is the fans that are watching every night, and I'm sure it must be really hard when you know, you can't walk around Asda without being stopped 100 times. But you know, being gracious and nice about it makes so much difference, because people remember that, you know, that fans remember that.
I think what is sad is that if you happen to have an off day, and that means something could have happened, and you'd be out and about, and somebody just might make a little comment or do something, your real instinct, and as you've seen it, I mean, you've seen it with pictures where, you know, where people are just like, you know, I mean, one sticks in my mind is Justin Bieber punching somebody, you know, somebody, and I'm just thinking, okay, you know, I can't imagine what it's like to be Justin Bieber. Do you know what I mean? Like to have that, or anybody where it's continuously constant, and you've got to have this circle of people around you to protect you from. I used to sort of have a couple of friends who'd come with me to Chessington with my son, you know what I mean? And things like that, and look after him when he would go on a ride, because I'd be too busy having to do pictures and stuff. But and in the end, when he was old enough, I was able to sort of incorporate him to help me take the pictures. So I'd say to the people, oh, do you mind if my son takes a picture? He's ended up being a fantastic photographer because of it. You know, it's like, because, you know, he sort of, I got him involved, and that. But then again, you have to say to some people, can you come, you know, if you see me in the park in half an hour's time, come up to me then, because I'm just going to go and spend some time with my son on the rides or something, or whatever.
Which is
if you explain, they don't mind. But if it's when you're just downright rude, then, you know, there's no real excuse for it, really. Don't go out of your house if you're having a bad day. Don't go out.
That's a really good tip. So we've got a question up here from Sue. She says, you have a fabulous voice. Do you have anything planned in the future to showcase your singing voice?
Oh, I don't know. I'm waiting for that, you know, those Sony records or somebody to records. I could be on show age. Mind you, vinyl's back. Big
vinyl is back. Yes,
vinyl's back. I know that because my son's pinched all mine. No, I would love to. I mean, I've always said this. I've always fancied doing some collaborations with people. you know, with all the obvious people I'd love to do collaborations with, and I think people would not expect that. And like you said, a lot of people don't realize that I can sing. I've been in musicals, but I love writing music. I love playing instruments. You know, it's my love as much as acting is. So yeah, I just every now and again I warble on, put and stick it up and see if anybody likes it, which I mean,
do. You do some great videos and you put them up, and as we saw there in that picture is when you're on Your Face Sounds Familiar, and you were Meat at that point, and I mean you did loads of different people on that, and you're fantastic. So you know, it's just. Do you think there might be an album in the offing? I mean,
I'd love to. You know, I would love to. I would absolutely. I'm putting it out there. I don't mind. Gary Barlow, anybody who wants to just give us a go. There are, you know, I'd love to do stuff with people like Rick Astley, Jesse Hawkes, Gary Barlow, Ed Sheeran, Lewis Capaldi, Billie Eilish. I would love to. Bette Midler. Oh my gosh, that would be a good. But yeah, I would. You know, there are people. There are people who I just go, oh, please, you know, somebody. You're only 1 or 2 people away from someone, and I'm trying to get like near those 1 or 2 people.
Yeah.
Go. Oh, would you like to, you know, meet my friend? And I go, oh yeah, and try and be cool about it. But you know,
I wouldn't mind singing. I suppose.
Yeah, oh no, I'll give it a go. La, 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 la. I'll give it a go. You know, but it's look, you know what? What I'm a great believer in. What will be. If it's about to happen, somebody somewhere will go, why haven't we just done an album with her? Why haven't we just? Oh my gosh, that could be Christmas #1, folks. You know, or whatever. You know, so.
Exactly. That's what I say. And obviously, Masked Singer. Hello, you need to be doing that at some point.
Well, somebody needs to get in touch with agents, don't they? They need to go. We can. You know, I don't really know what animal could I'll tell you what I fancy being. I'd fancy being a duck.
Ooh, okay.
I do like a duck, but if you see a duck come on there and it's not me, don't blame me. Don't put any bets on.
There was one duck in the first series, but I think
duck again. Was it a cute duck though? Was it cute? Was it cute?
He was all right, but I think you could be better. Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to do something else then. Oh, maybe because of my husband, my lovely husband, maybe we should be something like a camel. See, I love camels. They're my favourite.
I love it. I love it.
Camel.
You could go on with your husband, and it could be a double act.
No, he's a bit tone deaf.
Easy.
Yeah. He'll encourage me, and it's lovely, and then he'll join in, and I love it. And then as I'm singing there, I start to sing in the other room, a little bit away, you know. So
yeah.
So he's he's a fantastic supporter, actually, my husband. I'll give him his due, and he's always encouraging me to do stuff. And again, he it's a very sort of his mindset is very kind of simple. It's like, you should be doing this. Why are you not doing this? And you know, why are they not making you do? You know, why you could do that? You could have done that. And he doesn't realize there's a real hard process to get anywhere. You know, he just looks at me and goes, well, you could that you could knock that one out the ballpark, Cheryl. Just just get your agent on it. And it's like, my agent's already done this, but they've already gone, oh, maybe not this year, you know. So yeah, I think he's dying to get me in the jungle. That's what I'd love to do. I think he'd be on the telephone constantly phoning me up to do trials, I reckon.
I was going to say, I love the fact that your husband, who you've been married to for 11 years, for anyone who doesn't know, he would be wanting to try and put you in the jungle, which is just...
I think the method in his madness is that he could come up... It's not about putting his lovely wife in the jungle and putting her through terrible times. Because we could have a nice little holiday in Australia when we get out there. I'm not going to wait for Wales. I'll get Wales out the way, and let's get back to where we've got to go, back in the jungle, and and then his method, you know, he'd be along with Ant and Dec having a game of golf. I reckon that's what he'd be having. That's what he'd be doing.
He'd be doing that. There he is, there, just for anyone to see.
That's a really old photo. Look, that's like the early days.
A lovely one. You look gorgeous in that. I like the dress.
Yes, Yes, we all look a little younger there. That's all quite. Do you know what though? That's the wonderful thing about life. You can look back and go, "Oh, that's an interesting photo. Maybe I look better now than I did then." You know, it's like.
It's like, I know, I do that with mine all the time. I'm just like, yeah, pull out that one photo you like from ages ago, and then but I mean, he's well known. He's 21 years younger, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, we.
Different.
But I mean, what's a year amongst friends? I mean, you know what? It worked for Richard and Judy.
Exactly.
No, I can't. There's nothing more to be said. The only thing is, I do get that. I do get a little bit annoyed at the fact that people kind of go on about it because it's irrelevant, really.
Yeah.
It's what is going on in here, and what goes on in here.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with that about age and stuff. And I was terribly sort of flattered at first, but actually, I didn't. That soon went away because I realised it's truly about what is in your heart, because the moment we said this to each other quite a lot, the minute that we actually set eyes on each other, we both knew we were going to marry each other, and we never said it for quite a while, until it kind of a few times of me going over there, but we knew it. We absolutely knew that. And it's a weird thing. I mean, as you know, I've been married before, and that didn't really happen that time around. And but just you just know when you know. That's it. I think that, and
it's really like one of those sort of rom-com moments where you
literally. I was in the airport, my over in Agadir. My case fell on the floor. And I bent down to pick it up and thought, I must go and meet him. He's out there. And he picked it up, and it was literally one of those eye moments that we went, oh
my gosh, that's like a scene out of, that is literally like a scene out of.
And I never believed those things could happen. I mean, I didn't know. There was almost a real sort of moment for me, like a gasp, like it was really, I don't know, spiritual's a bit of a heavy word for it, but it was definitely a moment of, this is where my piece is now. This is the piece of my jigsaw puzzle that has been missing, and I've been trying to find it with, whatever, and now he's here, and all of those people, and we went through, I would say, pretty much hell and back at the beginning of our relationship, due to press, due to things that went on, and we weathered the storm together, and that was what was really important, and trust, and all of those things that are really, really important, and focus and hard work. People forget that relationships are hard work. If you don't work at anything in life, you're not going to do well in it. It's as simple as that. It doesn't matter. That's the mantra for everything. You have to work hard at it. You have to, give and take. You have to compromise. You have to be strong. Sometimes you have to be selfish. Sometimes you have to do things that are good for you and your soul, and also it's good for them, because then you can go on the journey together. And you don't have to be stuck to each other's sides. You're not magnets. We are not a magnet. We might have been magnet at the beginning, but we're not like, oh God, he's gone there, I've gone there, we're gone there, he's up there, I've gone down. It's not the way. It's not how it should be.
You're still individuals as well as a couple.
Yeah, and we're human beings. We have different things. We have different likes. We have different habits. We have different, sometimes sleeping patterns. We have different, all sorts of things. And once you learn to understand, and I think that's the thing, once you understand your partner, whoever they are, or your family member, or your son, or anybody, or your friend, once you start to understand what it is about them that ticks, and then they get you, that's for life. It's for life. your friends are for life. Your children are for life. your dogs are for life. If you just have that connection. So
you just have that. I love that story of you two. I can just picture it now.
Oh, it was definitely that. It was a very crowded airport, and my suitcase fell over because it was a bit heavy. Because I thought, I don't know what to pack. Unpack everything here, and it just, as you're holding the handle and you let it go for 2 seconds to go in your bag, and it just flops over. experience. We've all had that.
We've all had that.
You know.
I love it. I love it. That's talking about sort of, or you could write it yourself. Like, just want to take you back to the moment of leaving Enders. I know you've got so much else to talk about, but just for the fans here, because we all saw poor Heather get hit over the head by Ben. We don't like that.
With a picture frame that Shirley bought me. Now that's a bit off, isn't it? Really,
it's a bit bloody off, isn't it?
Bit off, yeah, bit off.
A bit off. So, I mean, what did you, looking back now, what do you think of the way Heather left? What would you like to have been Heather's exit?
Well, I think dying was a bit of a sad moment for me, literally, because I thought if they were going to get rid of me, maybe I could have come back later on. Though I felt like there was much more to Heather to be explored. She'd also just had a little baby, not long, baby George. There was, there's scope in a lot of stuff. So being killed off was a little bit like, oh dear, that's a bit sad. I think the fact that Ben did it when Heather was Ben's friend for a long time, has always been since he was a child, encouraged his musicals and tap dancing and all the things that she helped him to go to contests and all those things when he was younger, and almost his best friend who knew he was gay, really, but didn't really understand what gay was, but knew that you could be individual. Do you know what I mean? So it's that thing of the fact I think that was more shocking that he did it, really, out of anybody, because they were buddies, really, and that's the old Mitchell temper streak, isn't it? That they all. Yeah, look at little Ben then. Little Ben of many Bens, as they say.
Many Bens. I think we're on about Ben number 6 now. Yes. They could have like a little meet up themselves.
They could, that would be quite funny. But
I mean, obviously, you've been seen on screen. You are dead on screen. So, I mean, people do say, is there any chance you could go back? I mean, obviously, they say you could get out the shower like Darius.
Yeah,
not really very likely in EastEnders, but would you fancy any other soaps?
I was listen, like I said, I live up north now. There's quite a few up here. The rest of them are up here, so I am within stomping ground distance of getting to them. Yes, I would. Look, you know what? You never say never for anything, really, unless in my case it's running around naked in the street. I would definitely say no for the viewers more than myself, really, to be quite honest with you. I wouldn't subject them to that. But no, I'd love to. Anybody, this is very strange, but younger people like to sort of go, oh, I'll do 6 months here and I'll go on and work in the National here, and then I'll go to Hollywood and I'll be in a Ben Stiller film, which I'm still waiting for Ben Stiller to phone me up, by the way. I'm just, I'm always ever in hope I will be in a Meet the Parents, Winnie Bago with him or something. But yeah, they want to do here, there and everywhere. And I think I would just like some security of something now, when you go, that thing of knowing where you're going. It's a little bit of it's not a 9-to-5 job, it never will be, but like, I love long I love long filming shoots when you can be away and you know where you're at and you're in your apartment or hotel and you go, oh, I can put my washing on today, it's fine, it's all good, and you have that kind of thing, whereas normally you're out of a suitcase, whether you're touring a show, a musical, or if you're on tour or something, you're literally in a hotel out of a suitcase, not knowing where you are the next couple of nights, and it's lovely, but it's tiring. It's really tiring, and you have to be prepped up for that. Really, you have to have recharged your batteries. And every time I've done a tour of a musical or something, I've either gone out to Morocco beforehand and just laid on the beach, or sat with the family and ate loads of lovely food, and been to see the camels and the donkeys, and just going, oh, I feel like I'm back to some sort of nature and being in the mountains and the sand dunes and everything's lovely. But you recharge your batteries, you go back, and then you're ready to tackle the world.
Ready to take on as
I think everybody, especially after the lockdown now, everybody's got to realize that we need to look after ourselves. people's mental health have suffered. And I think for once you need to start thinking about yourself and start being selfish and going, once I'm sorted, once I'm in the right zone, I can then be useful to other people and be useful to myself to do stuff. So it's really important to get yourself on track and never apologize for it, and always talk to people. It's really important.
And last of all, is there going to be a second series of Hard Sell?
I don't know. I'm really hoping so, and I'm really hoping that I'm in it. I spoke to Catherine and was going, people want a second series, Catherine, and she's going, yes, they do. And then I'll go, yes, I wonder what happens to Heather. Heather. See, I'm calling myself Cheryl. What happens to Cheryl?
You're putting yourself in your body.
No, it's because we're talking about her. Get behind me, Heather. Get behind me. I think... I don't know. I've got little scenarios in my head. I mean, I've never been so bold as to pitch them to Catherine, but I can see. I'd love to work with that group of people again. The cast, the crew, they were just fantastic. And when you get a lovely team like that, you got to stick with it. Really, it's great. And
it's already top 10 Netflix since it got.
Hurrah! Go watch it. Those who haven't seen it, where have you been?
I know.
We did Bridgerton. We've done that. Get that out of the way. Yes. Get yourself some Hard Sell. Simple.
Exactly. You want a bit of a change from Bridgerton. You've done that. Like you say. Now, now have a bit of fun, and it is good, and it's hilarious. And then, like you say, it has that sort of poignant bit and a twist, which I won't spoil anything for anyone. But I
would say bear with it. If people first of all watch the first episode, I think they might just think, oh, is this like another weird spoofy documentary thing? But if you stick with it, you'll see what kind of happens. And the characters, I mean, it's really funny. Again, talking to my son, I keep catching him watching bits of it and like rewinding it's not my bits. I have to no, it's all the and there's sayings now that we say that are definitely I can poke my head around the door and go to Alex, I'm excited, and he goes, I'm excited. And for those that don't know it, you'll see what that's about. So that's the favorite saying. I think we should all wear t-shirts going, I'm excited.
I love it. I think you should get that together. It's in a Netflix, girl, because I mean, crikey, everyone around the world will see this.
I know. Yeah, that's a bit amazing, isn't it? The world can see that. That's what my son says. That you're trending in the world, and you go, ooh, that's quite. Ooh, I wonder if I'll be sort of go somewhere in my travels in the future, and I'll be on top of some like mountain or something, and then there'll be people going, ooh, I saw you. You said that naughty word in that Netflix thing. And I go, oh, yeah, I did, didn't I? Oh, there must be, for those that haven't seen it, I get to be a bit potty mouthed in it, which is quite fun, and quite liberating as well. Because Cheryl Fergison does love a little bit of an explicit.
It was Cheryl Fergison doing a very explicit. I think we can probably say
I'm claiming the word. So if I go around saying this word very out loud anywhere, it's because I'm channeling my inner
your inner character.
Parody of Cheryl Fergison.
It's not just because you're having a bad day.
No, nothing to do with that. No road rage. No, nothing like that. It's nothing to do with it.
I love it. You got perfect carte blanche now. And I just for anyone out there, it wasn't the F word. It was worse. So if anyone's watch it, right? It's been lovely having you on, Cheryl. Really enjoyed it. It's been so much great fun. And if anyone hasn't watched the series yet, it's out there now on Netflix. Hard Sell with Catherine Tate and with Cheryl.
Absolutely. And Jess is saying. That's basically
I am. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. And thank you, Cheryl, for coming on.
No worries.